Is this thing on? Yeah? Alright. Ha-ha! I'm back, people! For the regular show reviews! Hey, look, man. I didn't know if anyone would be here. I'm just streaming and I just wanted to do this.
Yu-Gi-Oh! Duel Links!
Oh, man, I forgot that. Hey, Nostalgia Boy. Welcome to the stream. I'm going to review the regular show episode Muscle Woman, but before I do that, I'm gonna go turn off the sound. I got to. That way you can hear my voice when I'm talking about regular show. It's music rivals mine! Alright. Well, I'm just setting up. Summon the team. Please go to the new Critic Titans and say I'm sorry, okay? What? What are you talking about? I don't know anything about them. What were you talking about, Nostalgia Boy? I'm just here to talk about regular show while playing Yu-Gi-Oh! Duel Links. I know it's not regular show related, but we'll get to that later on down the road. So we stopped at This Is My Jam, and now we go to Muscle Woman. So this episode is mixed. So apparently Muscle Man's girlfriend Starla dumped him, and now he's heartbroken and unable to do work. So basically, I don't know how Mordecai gets to Starla, though. He's able to talk to her in some way, because Muscle Man can't go with any other people. Or ambassador for me? What are you talking about, Nostalgia Boy? I'm just talking about regular show right here. In the beginning, he's unable to talk to other girls. None of them is as hot as Starla. So Mordecai is able to talk to Starla. She then develops a crush on the bird, and he's like, I don't know, he's not really into it. He's able to go on a date for her for like, I think a week or more, but he's unable to handle it since it's not the type of person he wants to be with. He does say nicely that he doesn't like her and doesn't want to be with her, and just when you think she takes it seriously, she goes into a massive fit, and I mean massive. She becomes like this female Hulk that comes like charging about, and then next thing you know, she's got red eyes! Forgive the background noise. Yeah, so apparently Muscle Man does tell Starla how he really feels about her, and his real name is Mitch Sorestein. You know, with an M. Yeah, so they're back together. It's all lovey-wovey and stuff like that. Very odd. And the episode ends with Rigby saying, maybe we should have done Muscle Man's chores. Yeah. So it's okay. I mean, it's not good, it's not bad, it's okay. I'm okay with this episode. It's nothing great or spectacular, it's just a fine, pleasant episode I can tolerate. Oh boy, we got temp check here. Ladies and gentlemen, there's an otter imposter that's going to transform into you! Yeah, I feel like that's what they were going for. Actually, no, it's just Rigby wants to find some kind of intern or someone to do all his work. That's like basically the whole premise of the episode. So he tries to find people, but they instead become pyrotechnics, and then there's this one guy who plays harmonica by doing... It's not something I want to say, but if anyone's seen the episode, I'm sure they know what I'm talking about. He farts on the harmonica and someone makes music out of it. Behold, the new technology of making music. Alright, I'm done. I felt like I wanted to do that. So, anyways, Just when you think that Rigby's not going to find someone, he finds Doug the River Otter, who says he wants to become somebody and he's willing to do anything. So yeah, it feels like one of those episodes, but I started to like Doug. He was actually, to me, he was like a really nice guy. I mean, he interacted with the characters just fine. And here's the thing I don't really like about him. He keeps copying everything Rigby does. And if that's not enough, he gets his own haircut that looks just like him, holds up his tail just like him, and the next thing you know, black rings around his eyes. You know, like a raccoon. Except different because, well, it's, what could I say? It's just, I was starting to like this guy. That was until that happened. He was trying to replace Rigby. I don't really like that. I felt like that was kind of a little bit mean. And he even transforms into Rigby too. He did say he was finally becoming somebody, and he was more Rigby than anyone ever was. Or will be. Now, I don't think that's really a nice thing to say, other than the fact that it happened, and then they start quarreling about it, and then Mordecai notices there's two of them. I don't think this kind of inspires the Pokemon Ditto, because I felt like this Pokemon really does suit Doug. I mean, they both know Transform, they both turn into the same character, and Doug, even though he transformed into Rigby, oddly enough, knows a lot about Rigby, despite the fact that he just transformed into him. I think maybe that's his skill, because they both can't punch really hard, they're both horrible at video games, they're both equally lazy, and they even solve the questions. Well, I think that the fake Rigby, Doug Rigby, got all the questions right, while Rigby only got some right. Though Mordecai didn't know who was the real Rigby, because the real Rigby would never hug him. So they find out that it's an imposter, it's Doug, and then he gets arrested. His full name is Doug the Doppelganger Soblonsky. He was pulling this scam, but finally he was caught in his tracks. He could be brought to justice. So, Doug does say to Rigby that, he's not a good person, but Rigby, on the other hand, he had a friends and family and a nice warm bed. And he doesn't want him to forget about that. Okay, so this bad guy is giving Rigby advice. I'll take it. Yeah. So, that's basically the episode. I really love this episode. Doug is one of my favorite characters, and oddly enough, he's also voiced by Roger Craig Smith. You're going to notice a lot of Roger Craig Smith characters in this show. Following up to Season 3 when I talk about You Know Who in You Know What episode with an adorable charm. But just when you think things are going to be good, they go terribly wrong. The next episode, Jinx. I don't know, some people like this episode, some people don't like this episode. Post in the comments right here, anyone who's watching, if they think that Jinx is a good episode, because it is not. I mean, Mordecai and Rigby are just picking up trash, and then Rigby says one man's trash is another man's treasure, and it's a pleasure to find treasure, or something like that. They find a quarter, and then Mordecai says Jinx when they both say it, and then he starts punching him every time he talks. Mordecai does say that he can't talk when he's Jinx, and if he talks, he's gonna get punched. So he's gotta keep his mouth shut. But every time Rigby talked, he always gets punched. I don't like that. I feel that Mordecai's taking it a little bit too seriously. He's even smiling when he's doing it. I don't understand why Mordecai would do that to his best friend. He does say the only way to reverse the jinx is if someone says his name 3 times. I guess that's probably a good sign, but Rigby still talks to Benson who was apparently picking up trash over there, and Mordecai is like warning Rigby. He even has his fist like that, like he's gonna punch him for some reason. I don't like how Mordecai is doing that. And even though Rigby was trying to beg to Benson to say his name, Mordecai punches him. Then he goes to Pops and tries to do a little charades game, and he almost tried to succeed, but then he blurts out saying that he was good at the game, and then Mordecai punches him. Jeez, where was Mordecai? Was he behind Rigby the whole time? Was he just waiting to counter-strike? Did the Blue Jay just intimidate or just eavesdrop on the raccoon? And then Rigby goes to Skips and then writes down that I'm Jinx, say my name 3 times, and then Skips says that writing is talking, and then Skips punches him, and then Mordecai punches him, and then they both punch him. Like, I don't get it. It's just so mean-spirited. And if that's not bad enough, High Five Ghost is also jinxed by Muscle Man. Although Rigby does reverse High Five Ghost's jinx, and then he's free, Muscle Man does tell Rigby to get rid of his own jinx. But unfortunately, it's referencing the Bloody Mary myth. No way to get rid of that kind of problem that she had. So Mordecai, surprise, surprise, wants to stop Rigby and just says that he won't punch him anymore. But Rigby's upset. I mean, yeah, after all you caused, Mordecai, it's too late for that now, Mordecai. Like, I get you're trying to help out your friend, but you spent the majority of the episode being mean to him. So Rigby unleashes this demonic version of himself, Igbeer, and I guess that's like the evil version of him, and then every time that raccoon creature scratches someone, it turns him into a raccoon werewolf hybrid thing. I don't know, they got fur growing on their backs too. I don't know if they're raccoons or werewolves. It's better not to say what they are, because I feel like I want to say it in my own personal way if I think it's a good or bad kind of creature. Because it's bad, it's really bad. So, Mordecai does say, maybe the monster will go away if I unjinx you. He does say his name 3 times, but the monster is still there. And then he tells him, what did Rigby do while he was in the bathroom? And then Rigby said, I said my name 3 times and that thing came out of the mirror. What else? What else? I locked the door, turn on the water, shut off the lights. And it turns out it's the mirror. The mirror that will work. I suppose that's probably a good sign. So they go there, but their friends are all infected, all except High Five Ghost. They go into the mirror sort of thing, and then after that, they try to say their name. Try to say Rigby's name, but then the creature's going after him. So then after that, they say his name in reverse, Igbeer. And then just when he's about to counter-strike, he gets summoned back into the mirror, which is probably a good sign. Everyone's reversed back to normal, but they have no memory of what happened. Then Rigby jinxes Mordecai, and then after that, Mordecai's like, I feel bad for you because you won't fully enjoy this game. And then Rigby pokes Mordecai in the eye as, like, I guess that's, like, revenge or something. This is, without a doubt, one of the meanest episodes of Regular Show I have ever seen. I just hate this episode. It's just so cruel and mean-spirited. Mordecai especially. This is an irregular episode. I'm sorry, people, but Jinx is just a bad boo-boo to the maximum. I really hate this episode. And Mordecai is just unforgivable. The way that he punches Rigby in the arm every time he talked, he wasn't even sympathetic. He was smiling while doing that. He's evil in the episode. And like SpongeBob, there are times when they do have that sort of thing in there where a main character is a jerk. Well, SpongeBob is a jerk to Squidward and Choir Boys. Mordecai is a jerk to Rigby and Jinx. I don't know what's worse. Is Time worse or Jinx worse? Well, judging from how mean Mordecai is, Jinx is the worst episode of Season 2. It beats It's Time. At least you could say with It's Time, Mordecai did have a reason to be mean to Rigby because, Rigby was being kind of mean to him, embarrassing him, and just kind of making fun of him, not in a nice kind of way. But that's still not a good excuse. Ugh. It's just terrible, it's bad, and it's disgusting to watch. It's character derailment to an already established character. I feel bad for Rigby. Why would Mordecai do such a thing? This is, in fact, one of Mordecai's worst roles in the entire episode. It's just terrible. I don't like it. Alright, now that we got that out of the way, let's just go to See You There. A much better episode than Jinx. Though, yes, I do feel the episode is also mean-spirited, but here's the thing. There's actually kind of a purpose why they weren't invited to Muscle Man's party. Because I know it was not on purpose, but Rigby was choking, and then Mordecai saved him with the Heimlich maneuver, but then got his choke wad spilled soda in Muscle Man's face, and then they kind of made the situation worse. But it turns out Muscle Man didn't know what they were talking about, but it's when they were trying to offer their video game system to them, but he does take the video game system away, and they try to do reverse psychology to get him to change his mind, but now all they gotta do is just sneak into the party in their own costumes. This is odd. Why is it that Rigby is a bunny and Mordecai wears a cat mask? Mordecai, I can understand you're an animal, but the mask you're wearing, do you know that cats are your main predator? My gosh. I don't know if it was willingly or why he did this, but why is Mordecai wearing a cat mask? That's his enemy. Cats eat birds. So I don't get why he would wear, like, a cat mask. Oh, it's better not to question that. So, they see High Five Ghost's brother at the party, and he turns them into ghosts. I can't remember. Was it Muscle Man's party, or was it, High Five Ghost's party? Oh, wait, no, it's High Five's. Now I remember. It's just kind of hard to remember since I was a little bit flustered when going back into this review. But all I know is it was some party. So, anyways, the whole premise, they're turned into ghosts and then they manage to get inside. But High Five Ghost is worried because if they don't find a way to get back to normal, they'll be stuck as ghosts forever. And let's keep in mind that Low Five Ghost is voiced by Roger Craig Smith. Yep, you guessed it. Roger Craig Smith reigns supreme in Season 2 with lots and lots of characters, human and animals, and inanimate objects and ghosts. So yeah, I think the dad knows how to fix it, or I don't know, was it probably part of the prank or whatever. It's because the whole thing was basically a prank. They scare Muscle Man, but then it feels like he actually collapsed, but then the whole party thing was a prank. And the father was part of the prank, everything. It turns out that he was upset because of the thing they caused, and they told him that there's going to be some party going on. Then they busted High Five Ghost's brother out of jail, so that way they could be turned into ghost. It was his strategy, I guess, or his idea to do it. But he does get his just desserts when he starts choking on food, and then just when you think that something's gonna happen, it's gonna happen, alright? It's basically the whole thing where he does get his comeuppance, he's choking, and then Mordecai refuses to help him, but then he actually does help him, and then they're even, and then the party can finally start. They could stay, but there's just one joke in the episode I did not like, and that was the part where it felt as if Muscle Man actually destroyed their console, or probably like sent it over to some kind of thrift shop. But he actually had it the whole time. It's a good episode. Not as bad as Jinx. It's not even as okay. I think it's a good episode. Even though it's mean-spirited, I still think it's a really good episode. Far better than Jinx, in my opinion. At least it was very understandable. So, now with Do Me a Solid. Okay. So, I'm probably going to get a lot of people disagreeing with me. But Do Me a Solid is not a bad episode. I'm sorry. Do Me a Solid is a really good episode of Regular Show. Now, I'm going to say like a tiny little story about this episode. Whenever I saw this episode on demand, I would always grab the remote, press play, and watch the episode. It's like every time that episode came on, I always watched it. It was one of my favorites of Regular Show at its time. And I'm aware of the love subplot in this episode, but solids are like favors. And when they say do me a solid and the consequences of not doing solids, bad things will happen, it's a really interesting concept. I mean, yes, there's romance in there, but it's kind of cut to a minimum. It's not as much as I thought it would be. It's more like comedic / love. I do get the part where Rigby tells Mordecai that he'll let him go out with Margaret if he does 10 solids, which he does to sabotage the date. And I felt, while people don't like it, I think that's probably Mordecai's comeuppance because of Jinx, or mainly because you would just, it's better not to explain it, but the way Rigby sabotages Mordecai is not harmful, okay? It's kind of comedic. I mean, yelling as loud as he can and seeing if this thing tastes spicy, telling him to go get popcorn, put butter in it. Like, I don't see how bad it is. I do see that it's ruining his chances with Margaret, but that's literally just about it. I think what gets people is probably the ending, where Mordecai has to do one last solid. I don't know what the solid is, but for anyone who's seen the episode, I think it's best if we don't talk about it. Let's just say it's just something Mordecai doesn't want to do in front of Margaret. So yeah, Mordecai refuses to do the solid, and surprise, surprise, the house starts to collapse. This is what happens when you don't do solids. So, Margaret does say that the only reason that she was here, she was doing Eileen a solid by saying that she had to break a date so Eileen could go out with Rigby. So, apparently she was only there so that way she can do Eileen a solid. That was kind of hurtful, but he understands why. It was because of a solid. It was a solid. Now, I didn't understand it the first time I saw it, but then I really understand it. So, Mordecai, being defeated, then realizes that he has no choice but to do the solid, knowing that it wasn't even worth it. So he does the solid, and much to Mordecai's dismay, Rigby records it. Now, this episode was getting really close to being so-okay until the true ending started. So, he actually destroys the tape, the one where we embarrassed Mordecai in. Like, he actually destroys it in front of everybody, and he does say that he did owe Mordecai that solid where he destroys the tape, saving their friendship. So, I felt like that was a smart move. So, yeah, it's a good episode. I'm sorry. I just really like this episode. It's really nice, it's really sweet, and it's a good episode. Even though I don't think that the mean-spiritedness works here, I felt like it was okay. Yeah, I'm fine with it. Yeah. Alright, let's see. What do we got here? Gravesite. The Halloween episode. So, there's a problem going on with the park stairs, and they need money to help repair it. So, Mordecai suggests that they should do a scary movie night and show it in the park cemetery. That could actually give them a lot of money. And the only way to do that is to do that, of course. They need to make the flyers and get people to go see the movie. They do get it, but it's odd though because in the show, they're like movie shack guys of random people. Now this guy, voiced by Roger Craig Smith, again, gives them Zombocalypse 3D. It's some kind of horror movie, the uncut version. At least we don't see part of the movie. That's like the good part about the episode. So yeah, the candy cobwebs on a stick, the backup plan Muscle Man has that the thing doesn't work, followed by Mordecai Rigby fighting the zombies that come out because it was kind of magical. Yeah, it's kind of scary, but at least I could see that this movie is parroting something. I don't know what it is. I feel like it's one of those movies where it's action-packed, but all I know is this thing references a movie. Yeah. So, it works. It gets them the money, and then Benson says that he felt like he was actually in the movie, and that they really deserve that day off, and they're gonna earn another one, because they're gonna do the same thing next week. Okay, so I guess that wasn't gonna happen. Yeah, it's a good episode. It's not really scary. I mean, it's called Gravesite, but for an episode that's kind of Halloween-ish, it's not really scary. No, I don't think it's really scary at all. Okay, it's scary because of the zombies, and yeah. Oh, also I need to point out right there that J.J. Quintel is one of the people in animated form sitting at the Zombocalypse movie premiere. You know, he's wearing 3D glasses, and then he, like, points to it by saying, "Dude, you see that guy shoving that disc in his face?" That was J.G. Quintel, people. That was J.G. Quintel in animated form. Okay. Now let's get to Really Real Wrestling, Over the Top, The Night Owl, and A Bunch of Baby Ducks. These 4 episodes I absolutely love. They're just really good. So let's start off with Really Real Wrestling, where Mordecai Rigby watch wrestling, and then they want to go to this wrestling match with their alter egos, Madman Mordo and Mysterious Mr. R. They find out that, actually they learn that Pops is actually a wrestler, and, he teaches him some moves, but Rigby's body slam severely hurts Pops, injuring him, unable to let them go to the match. So just when you think that it's gonna end terribly, no, they actually sneak out because I don't get why they wanted to disobey Benson, but I guess they really wanted to go to that wrestling match, and they think Pops is fine sleeping. You think that's Pops sleeping in bed? No! Pops actually crawls out of bed and gets his car and drives to the wrestling match himself. So yeah, it's not Mordecai Rigby that went. It was Pops as well. That was an interesting little twist. He wanted to go to the wrestling match too. After all, he was the one that got the tickets. So yeah, the whole premise was basically that Mordecai Rigby thought that wrestling was fake, but then there's this four-armed Mageddon guy who says that wrestling isn't fake, and that it's called Really Real Wrestling because it's actually real. It's not like those wrestling shows that claim that it's really the real thing, which is really fake. Well, this one is actually real, and it's really brutal. So yeah, I don't think this is a callback to World Wrestling Entertainment, but I feel like this is a really awesome wrestling episode. The way Pops does get back into the wrestling match and then shows off his moves, it's just really cool. But what I don't like is Rigby and Mordecai being in severe pain. I felt the Blue Jay and Raccoon's pain, especially Mordecai's. He got hurt so much in this episode. But at least Pops wins the belt. And just when you think that Mordecai and Rigby are going to get busted by Benson, actually, Pops tells Benson that he was the one that snuck off on his own and Mordecai Rigby had to go and get him. So he actually takes the blame, and apparently Benson's okay with it. So yeah, I'm aware that Huge Head was hit by Pops' car and that now he wants revenge on Pops by impersonating him. Oh great, now we got a Doug clone, someone trying to be someone else. So Over the Top and The Night Owl. Oh yeah, by the way, Really Real Wrestling is good. Over the Top and The Night Owl, no reference to Over the Top the movie. It's kind of sad. It starts off really sad where Rigby is like lying in a bed and it looks like he's actually dead because of what Skips did. The whole thing is Skips loses a arm wrestling match to Rigby and he's just really upset about it and he wants to beat Rigby at it, but then realizes, well, Mordecai tells him that Rigby's been pranking him with Playco Arm Boy. He reveals that Rigby was pranking him the whole time and then he kind of takes it a little too harsh and actually kills Rigby in the process. He does say that he's sorry and he wants to get Rigby back while wrestling Death, apparently a Grim Reaper of regular show, and if Skips wins, he'll bring Rigby back to life, but if he doesn't, then Death will take his soul instead. So, surprise, surprise, Skips uses the Playco Arm Boy to beat Death, and then Rigby is returned back to life, and Skip says that he should never cheat because he only did it to save his life. Yeah, that's a good episode. Now, I don't get, because Rigby's got, like, patches in the back, but in the next episode, they're gone. Is it that it healed, or do they just not keep track of it? Maybe it was just a minor wound, and it probably takes a week for it to heal. It's maybe that. So, The Night Owls is basically this radio show hosted by a guy. Yes, a guy. Let's see, who wants to give away a free car, but it turns out that it's not that easy. They need to, it's only for, like, one person. They're not aware of that, but they sabotage the competition by making all the others go away. However, the Night Owl finds out that they're planning to share the car, but he didn't want that, so he tries to make them become enemies by saying false things about them, which gets them to fight, then freezes them with liquid nitrogen, sending them into the future. Oh, the future. Yeah. And then they return to reality. Well, not really reality, but they're unfrozen. And then they realize what's going on, that the Night Owl tricked them, and now they need to get back to the present, I guess? Yeah, back to the present. So they avoid all these obstacles, including guards trying to get them, and the Night Owl himself. Like, they're able to go back to where they were, but then the car gets destroyed, and then there's an odd little twist right here. Now, I don't know if this was willingly, but, they say something about if their own cells realize what's going on, like they need to fight to the death with each and every one of their clones, because apparently they're from the future. But then the present Mordecai, Rigby, Muscle Man, and High Five Ghost are standing right there. Like, what was the point of that episode? Was it like, is that their clones? Are they from the future? Like, where did they come from? Were they just not in the episode at all? It's just really confusing. Anyways, it's a good episode nonetheless. Now, a bunch of baby ducks. Really excellent. Positively adorable. Especially for Season 2 standards. This episode is just adorable, okay? The whole point of, Mordecai and Rigby babysitting these baby ducks. And, the whole thing with the baby ducks imprinting on Rigby, thinking that he's their mom. I thought in an early draft, I thought that them being birds, why could they imprint on Mordecai? I mean, he's the bird, not Rigby. I mean, I kind of see that it's cute and Rigby doesn't like it, but I still would have thought, I could have liked it better if Mordecai was the one that the baby ducks went to. But judging from that, I'm like, you know what, it's not worth it. This is really adorable. So yeah, the baby ducks imprint on Rigby and they copy everything he does, which is kind of cute. Though they're skilled at video games while Rigby is not, and they're doing the oh with Mordecai. So I guess that they have some kind of bond with Mordecai. Yeah, I guess. What, do they imprint on Mordecai to be the father or something? I guess when you think about it, that should probably be true. Alright, so now there's a greedy guy that's going after the ducks, and, they need to go protect the ducks, but when they find out that the mother's looking for the baby ducks, they need to return them, but then the greedy guy comes back to steal them, and they're unable to. The mom comes there, and then, they go after the guy who kidnapped the ducks. And, it's kind of odd. When the baby ducks see that Rigby is in danger, they all transform into this giant duck man creature. I mean, the whole point of the episode, they're all saying step off, and that's what the duck says, the duck man. And then Mordecai and Rigby see that the ducks return back to normal, and then Rigby's like, you guys are so cool. And he was really gonna miss them. I miss them too. They're really nice. And the baby ducks will always remember him. Even though they're with their real mom, they still look up to them. The fountain was destroyed. Yes, I get the whole point in the episode where they had to go finish cleaning the fountain, which is where they found the baby ducks in the first place. Yeah, that's a bunch of baby ducks. It's a really adorable episode, and it's good. I absolutely love it. It's just really nice. I just feel like, it would have been a little bit better if it was Mordecai that was followed by baby ducks, but I guess what we got is fine too. More Smarter, First Day, Go Viral, and Skunked. Now these 4 episodes, I think they're just as good as those ones. Because More Smarter, apparently Rigby didn't get his diploma in high school, and they kind of make a big complaint about that for the episode. I don't get why they had to do that, but I mean, come on, Mordecai, you know your friend doesn't have a diploma, but you don't have to keep saying that. It gets a very mean-spirited at this part. And Rigby does go to high school to see if he could try to fix a problem or solve a problem, but instead there's no luck. He just falls asleep in class. And then Mordecai just says, you wouldn't fall asleep that much if you had your diploma. Oh, Mordecai. So Rigby tries to get his diploma the easy way online by taking an online test. And this is really funny because the first question was, which of the following is not a square? And then Rigby's like, this is so hard. Dude, this is like kindergarten preschool stuff. You didn't go to kindergarten? Dude, even a 5-year-old could answer that. Or maybe a toddler. Or someone rather preschoolish? He does see an ad for Brain Max that can increase his intelligence. And he kind of abuses the whole dosage because it says use only as directed. And then he becomes really smart. But now he's become more of a jerk. I mean, I get that he's doing a crossword, but why did he say what's an 8-letter word for idiot and writes down Mordecai? It's kind of cute when Mordecai says, "You're the idiot, you want to dumb face." That is the most adorable thing I ever heard Mordecai say in season 2. I'm sorry, it's just really cute. Then Mordecai drinks the Brain Max, he becomes smart too, and they write math equations all over the house, on the walls, on the couch, on the windows, like, it's everywhere, like, it's like graffiti. However, they become so smart that Benson, Pops, and Skips are stupid to them, and they start speaking some kind of weird language. I don't know what it is, I think it's Latin or something? Yeah, it's probably Latin. So, I guess the only way to revert them back to normal is to drink the Rig Juice. Now, keep in mind that I didn't say this, but Rig Juice was this juice that Rigby made in the beginning of the episode, made from Radicola, a dash of hot sauce, sugar-frosted marshmallow bombs, frozen punch concentrate, and, like, etc., etc., etc. It's really weird to see, but it's the thing that turns them back to normal, actually. So, actually, to be honest, I want to say this right here. I mean, I always laugh every time that, I see Muscleman in Manatee Farm. I always laugh at that, and High Five Ghost being a bacteria. It's just so hilarious. Although, it did get Mordecai to drink that drink that he didn't want. I guess it was probably worth it, because Rigby managed to get him to drink Rig Juice, despite Mordecai being the smart one. Yeah, so now he likes it? Rigby's like, he likes it? First off, he doesn't like it in the episode, now he does like it. I don't know. Okay, it's a good episode. I really love this episode. It's really nice, and it's kind of cute. Now let's go off with First Day. There's nothing much to say about First Day. Oddly enough, though, it's just basically an extended version of the pilot. Yes, new footage is in there. Of them arriving at the park, and then Pop's giving them an application, and then they need to go inside the house, and there's already, like, a video game system there, and, yeah, that's basically it. Everything else is just the pilot. Just new animation, already aired pilot, and stuff like that. I get it. So, yeah, just like the pilot, it's a good episode. Now, we got that out of the way. It's nothing much to talk about other than the fact that it's just about, the pilot. So, Go Viral. Now, Go Viral, this is where it comes to all the viral videos out there. It's basically like a callback to, funny videos that people watch online. It's kind of cool, and I do see where to... Oh, I get to special summon somebody? I choose my blue eyes. Okay, I love the Wedgie Ninja and Clawgan Bear. It's just really hilarious to see. It's just, I don't know, I just laugh every time I see that thing. Now then. But to continue with the episode, the whole episode is basically whoever makes the most funniest viral video will, I guess, win a bet or something. Yeah, I guess so. They're supposed to get money in order to do that. Oh, look at that, people! I got 2 Blue Eyes White Dragons! 2 girls. Okay, back to the episode. So yeah, Mordecai Rigby's viral videos aren't really funny, and Muscleman and High Five Ghost are making really funny videos, and the week's not up yet, so they need to come up with something. So they try to do Rigby bouncing on a trampoline, which ends in failure, but Mordecai says let's make it a triple jump. But then Pops gets in there, and then he gets sent up into the sky, into some kind of dimension. They go up there too, and they realize there's this whole viral video place there's this warden of the internet that punishes all the severely repetitive trash viral videos because they're a disgrace to the internet. Because it's to keep in touch with family once in a while or to do research papers, but viral videos are a disease and they are sent to that dimension to be forced to repeat forever. It's kind of sad. And then Pops is in there too, and just when she's about to send Mordecai Rigby in there, Rigby presses the power button, and then Mordecai gets all those viral people out of there. Roadhog, Old Man Horseshoe, Wedgie Ninja. Wait, no, Reggie Ninja. Okay, let's talk about Wedgie Ninja and his really sad demise. So, right before she takes Pops, Wedgie Ninja gives her the ultimate wedgie, and then he doesn't know how long that he'll be able to hold her off like that, and he tells him to link to his video, and then Rigby's like, "We'll never forget you, Wedgie Ninja!" And so they make the escape, and then the Warden and Wedgie Ninja are destroyed, and then it turns out that the whole thing was recorded, and the viral video was a success. Mordecai Rigby won. And all the viral people are there supporting them, all except Wedgie Ninja. This is a really good episode. It's sad at first, and then it's somewhat depressing near the end, but totally worth it for Mordecai Rigby because they win. Okay, last 2 episodes. Skunked and Karaoke Video. Now, I was this close to not being able to watch the episode Skunked because Mom had to watch her news, but I'm like, no, I need to watch this. This is regular show. So basically, I kind of won the battle of the TV and I watched Skunked. And let's be honest, I love this episode. I mean, I don't like the premise of roadkill bingo, but at least it works, and it's a little bit creative. It's their own version of bingo picking up roadkill, and skunk is the last thing to be crossed out. Rigby gets sprayed by it, but then it turns out it's actually a war skunk, and if Rigby doesn't be returned back to normal, he'll be a war skunk as well. So he turns into this weird rabid beast every time he gets mad, and they try to find cures from shampoo to coffee to pineapple juice? Yeah, it's kind of odd to see that pineapple juice would be a suggestion, knowing that tomato paste is the only thing that takes the smell away. I don't know. I was just probably wondering why they were just saving that for, like, last. The whole point of the episode is just them trying to get Rigby back to normal. Then Rigby has to confront the skunk himself, and then he tries to find the cure, but it's Mordecai that finds the cure, but he's almost stopped. Then Rigby's almost transformed into it until he's able to finally find the cure and just split the tomato paste, returning it back to normal. But here's the thing. There's another twist. Yes, and this one's a really odd twist. That worst skunk was actually a human. I'm not kidding. It was a literal, actual human. And I'm, like, a little bit surprised. So it wasn't a were skunk, but they did say he still counts as a skunk, and they do get the roadkill bingo. So, yeah, that's a really good episode. Despite it being about skunks, I thought it wasn't going to be good, but then I was like, you know what, I'll give it a shot. And it turned out better than I expected. Alright, this is it. The last episode of Season 2, Karaoke Video. I know they sing We're Not Gonna Take It, but they kind of go a little bit bizarre. Now, here's the part where they kind of get a little bit too mean. They do say some mean stuff about Benson and all the other workers over at the park, but I feel like it was kind of understandable. They were singing, and the music fueled their frustration, and they just didn't know what they were saying. They're just so hyped. They're loving it. They just said stuff that they didn't mean. It's a good thing Benson wasn't there to hear, because if he was, oh boy, it would end terribly. But there's the thing. He wants to take them all to that same karaoke place as a treat because he felt he was overworking his workers too hard. So just when you think that Mordecai and Rigby are going to get the tape back, that guy says that he's going to keep the tape, and he doesn't want them back there again because they're banned. Oh, great. That's not good. So they try other things to get Benson to change his mind about karaoke, maybe like a dance room or like something like that. But then Benson says it's mandatory about going to karaoke, and if they don't show up, they're fired and they have to deal with it. Dude, I don't know, but they got banned. How are they gonna get in there? But, oddly enough, though, Mordecai and Rigby do manage to get in there. I don't know how they get caught. Oh, yeah, the vents. How do they not see him in the vents? Don't they have cameras in there? I don't know. So, that guy who runs the place does play that tape. And then they do see it, but it gets cut off because they managed to find the tape. And then Pops is singing Footloose by Kenny Loggins. However, it's a little short version of it. And then there's this brawl going on in that place. And then it's just really just funny to see all that stuff going on, all the chaos and everything. But it does ruin karaoke night. And then Mordecai ends the episode by saying, "Man, karaoke sucks. I understand that the tape got destroyed. It's a good episode." Season 2 is a good season. Much better than what I expected. I mean, there are like only 2 bad episodes, and there's only like one okay episode, while the rest are good. I just really like these episodes, and I feel like one of the best ones of the season so far, I'm gonna have to say A Bunch of Baby Ducks and Do Me a Solid. They're the pinnacle and success of Regular Show, which evolved the stats that made the show popular to begin with. Join me next time as I go to Season 3, where we get to Jeremy.